Welcome to Lesson 4, Volcanoes and Earth's Surface. We will be covering the content on page 364 of your textbook and continuing this topic in the following video sections. Remember to complete all 4 parts of the to-do list for every lesson. This includes vocabulary, guiding questions, fill in the blank, and the lesson check-in. Here are the guiding questions for your notebook activity in this lesson. Write down all of the following questions and answer them as you read the 4th lesson. Guiding questions. How is plate tectonics connected to volcanic eruptions and landforms? What role does volcanic activity play in shaping Earth's surface? What hazards do different types of volcanoes pose? Guiding questions are a great way to check if you understand the lesson. Make sure to copy the key vocabulary terms into your notebook: lava, magma, volcano, hotspot, dormant, and extinct. Take a moment now or at the end of the lesson to write each word along with its definition. Remember that all definitions were handed out at the beginning of the school week in the weekly outline. Let's begin with the Connect It section on page 364. Circle and label the effects that the volcano in the photo is having on Earth's surface and atmosphere. Pause the video to complete this task. If you have completed the first task, continue with the opening question. List the effects that you identified in the photo and categorize them by the Earth system that is affected: hydrosphere, atmosphere, geosphere, or biosphere. Pause the video to complete this question. Answering the Connect It question will help you understand the lesson by showing what you already know. We now move on to Part 1, Volcanoes. This section starts on page 365 of your textbook. Volcanoes. While active volcanoes are found in a relatively small number of states in the U.S., they have a profound impact on Earth's surface, especially at plate boundaries. Volcanoes add new material to Earth's surface, release gases into the atmosphere, build new islands in the ocean, and shape habitats for organisms. A volcano is a structure that forms in Earth's crust when molten material or magma reaches Earth's surface. This can occur on land or on the ocean floor. Magma is a molten mixture of rock-forming substances, gases, and water from the mantle. Once magma reaches the surface, it is known as lava. When lava cools, it forms solid rock. As with earthquakes, there is a pattern to where volcanoes occur on Earth. Most are found at convergent or divergent plate boundaries, but they can also occur at seemingly random places far from plate boundaries. A volcano is an opening in Earth's crust where magma escapes. Magma is molten rock inside Earth, and lava is molten rock that reaches the surface. Volcanism is the process of volcanic activity. Volcanoes affect Earth's surface by creating new land, like the islands of Hawaii, releasing gases into the atmosphere, and shaping landscapes with lava flows, ash, and eruptions. Now, let's explore Part 2, Volcanoes and Plate Boundaries, which is covered on page 366 of your textbook. Volcanoes and plate boundaries. At convergent boundaries, the subduction of an oceanic plate under a continental plate can produce volcanoes along the edge of the continent. Subduction of an oceanic plate under an adjacent oceanic plate can result in a volcanic island arc. At divergent boundaries, molten magma comes through the crust as lava, which quickly hardens into rock. But if the volume of magma is especially large, then a volcanic cone may form. Figure 2 summarizes these processes. Figure 2 illustrates how volcanic activity at plate boundaries can produce volcanoes on continents and volcanic island arcs. Summarize. Describe what is happening on the left side of the diagram, where ash is rising in the air over an active volcano. Pause the video to complete this question. If you are unable to answer the question, try rereading the previous section. Remember that with expository text, we sometimes need to read a passage more than once to fully comprehend it. Most volcanoes are located at plate boundaries. Some form at hotspots, away from boundaries. The Ring of Fire is a major volcanic zone encircling the Pacific Ocean. At divergent boundaries, volcanoes form at divergent boundaries when plates move apart and rock rises to fill the vacant space. Most volcanoes at divergent boundaries occur in the ocean at mid-ocean ridges, so they are never seen. Only in places such as Iceland can you see ocean ridge volcanoes. Less common are volcanoes like Mount Kilimanjaro that occur at continental divergent boundaries, such as the East African Rift. At divergent boundaries, plates move apart, magma rises, and new crust forms. Most of these volcanoes are underwater at mid-ocean ridges. For example, Iceland's volcanoes are located above a mid-ocean ridge. At convergent boundaries, when a plate dives into the mantle in the process of subduction, trapped water leaves the sinking plate and mixes with the material of the overlying mantle, causing it to melt. The buoyant magma starts to rise toward the surface. If the magma reaches the surface before cooling, a volcano forms. If the overlying plate is part of the ocean floor, the resulting volcano begins to form on the seafloor as a seamount. If it grows large enough to break the ocean surface, it becomes a volcanic island. A whole chain of islands may form when volcanism occurs at multiple spots along the edge of an oceanic plate. This is called a volcanic island arc. Volcanoes at convergent boundaries are formed when plates collide, the denser plate sinks in subduction, and magma forms and rises. This process creates volcanic mountain ranges or island arcs, such as the Andes Mountains, Japan, and the Philippines. Hotspot volcanism. In addition to divergent and convergent plate boundaries, there is a third source of volcanoes' hotspots. A hotspot is an area where lava frequently erupts at the surface, independent of plate boundary processes. Most hotspots sit atop mantle plumes of hot rock. Hotspot plumes are fixed within the deep mantle. As a plate moves over the plume, a chain of volcanoes is created because older volcanoes keep being carried away from the hotspot. The many islands and seamounts of Hawaii have formed from the westward motion of the Pacific Plate, as is illustrated in Figure 3. Another hotspot is found at Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. The supervolcano beneath the park may erupt again someday. During past giant eruptions of Yellowstone, the last one being 640,000 years ago, most of North America was covered with volcanic ash. Hotspot volcanoes are not at plate boundaries. A hotspot is a stationary plume of magma deep in the mantle. As plates move over the hotspot, new volcanoes form. We will finish today's lesson by answering the following 2 questions. Let's start with the reading check. Determine a conclusion. The Aleutian Islands of Alaska occur in a chain near a plate boundary. What type of boundary is it? Pause the video to complete this question. Remember that the answers to reading check questions are found in the reading. Final question. Model it. Hotspot modeling. Figure 3 shows how the Hawaiian Islands have formed from the movement of the Pacific Plate over a hotspot plume. Integrate with visuals. Using the diagram as inspiration, design a functioning physical model of how a hotspot creates volcanoes on the ocean crust of a moving plate. Sketch or describe your model in the space provided, including details on how it would work. Pause the video to complete your model. Take a few minutes to think and create. Remember that creativity requires thought and time. This marks the end of Day 1 for Topic 8, Lesson 4. Your homework is to write down the definitions and guiding questions in your notebook. We will continue this lesson in the next video section.